So we're gonna work on our wilted spinach with yogurt recipe. Now the reason I picked this recipe was a couple of reasons. One, that we have fresh spinach from the farm right now, which is great to have fresh greens. Spinach is loaded with iron, and it's just nice to have something that is so fresh and flavorful this time of year when it's cold. But the great thing about this recipe is that you're adding vegetables, protein. You have good fats in it. There's a little bit of fruit in there. You get some immune boosting from your roasted garlic. So it's a great thing to have. You can have for lunch, or you can have it pretty much any time of the day. You can eat it cold for breakfast if you wanted to. But sometimes I add pumpkin seeds to it or walnuts. This meal that you're having the spinach with, it really doesn't need it to add anything extra to it because there's so much going on with the rest of the meal and so many flavors. But just as an idea of something that you could do with this recipe if you wanted to make it again at another time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the roasted garlic that we have and I'm going to add it to the yogurt. And I use roasted garlic mostly because I like the flavor of the roasted garlic this time of year. It's not quite so bitter and pungent, and when you're having garlic raw in something, sometimes it's a little bit too strong and a little bit too much punch to it, too much heat. So we're going to add our garlic, and because it's roasted, you can very easily just mash it in with the yogurt. And you can add, as many cloves as you like if you really love garlic. It comes together really quickly. And then we're going to want to add our salt and pepper to the recipe. Just make sure all those cloves get ground up. You could use a fork. You don't have to use a whisk. I just happen to, it's a multi-purpose tool. I happen to like to use it. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh ground pepper. And then we're going to take our fresh spinach and we're just going to put it into a saute pan and steam it with a couple tablespoons of water for a few minutes to wilt it. And then we're going to add it to our yogurt sauce. So I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of water to my warm saute pan, and then I'm going to add the spinach. And it really doesn't take long for spinach to wilt. We're just trying to soften it up a little bit. And when you blanch a vegetable like this, you can see the color of it just gets really green. Pulling out all those antioxidants. And then once it's wilted down, we're going to add this to our yogurt. And you can, the spinach is so small, we just took the stems off and kept it the size that it was, but you could always make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to add the raisins into the warm pan, and I'm just going to saute them around for a few minutes. And heating them up will soften them and plump them up a little bit. I like adding them into warm water, but it's a little faster process. So once our raisins are softened, really only want to do it for about a minute. our yogurt mixture. So I'm going to add my raisins. And then I'm just going to incorporate all of this together. And then you're going to want to taste it to see if you want to add any more salt and pepper to it. And then we're going to put this aside. If you want, when you serve it with your meal, you can always add a little drizzle of olive oil in there. It adds a nice flavor to the finish of the spinach.